What is going on, everyone? It's Ryan here, and I'm here to, analyze that lackluster performance against Southampton. We drew 0-0 against Southampton at home today, and I don't really know what to say about this one. It wasn't good enough. It just wasn't good enough from the first half until the 97th minute where we almost scored, but it was disallowed. And it just, it it wasn't good. I think we could have done so much better. We weren't even like normally Man City are known for creating chances at least, even though we can't put them away. But this time, we didn't even create a chance in the second half. How are we having one shot on target in 90 minutes against a team that were 14th in the league before we faced them? It's not good enough at all. So I think we do certainly need to improve on that side of creating chances and scoring them, because our lack of striker was painfully apparent, especially in the second half, where not in the first half actually, when we were just creating chance after chance and we just weren't putting the ball in the back of the net. I mean, the chances that we created, we could have scored what, 3 goals in the first half, but a lack of striker, which is the club's problem. To be honest, it's the club's fault for not buying a striker, despite all the funds that we've had. So I want to go on to the team. I want to go to the player. Actually, not the player ratings first. Let's go on to the first half. I think the first half we started a bit slow. We did start a bit slow. We were a bit, lackluster. I mean, Southampton were on top of us the first, I'd say, 10 minutes. But then after the 10th, 15th minute, we were really putting on the pressure. I mean, Jack Grealish was playing well. Cancelo was creating chances. We were starting to get in behind Southampton. We were starting to pass forward. But after about 30 minutes, we just started to tail off again. I mean, our midfield was so sloppy in possession. That was the story of the whole game, man. Our midfield was terrible. Fernandinho, normally a player that I rate so highly, was terrible today. That's one of his worst performances in a long time, and I think kind of shows his age. It does kind of show his age at the end of the day. He is 36, not really got the legs to be running for 90 minutes anymore. But that was the first half, and I thought, okay, if we can go into half time 0-0 and Pep can revitalise the team, we can go out again second half. But in the second half, it was more of the same. It was more of the same. In fact, in my opinion, I think it was even worse. We were not creating chances. We were not even in transition. We were just giving the ball away. Gundogan was giving the ball away. Bernardo Silva was non-existent. Fernandinho was awful. Sterling didn't again, poor again, which is why he's gone from a starter to one of the squad players now, which is very disappointing. And I think the second half had a lot more from Southampton's perspective. I mean, they got a penalty. Kyle Walker giving the ball away so sloppily. It was unbelievable. Then he gave away the penalty, which thankfully was overturned. I think because it was actually a foul on Walker, but the fact that he even gave the ball in the away in the first place shows that it was just careless. It really was just careless, and I mean, it was the whole team was careless. So I can't really put it on one person. But if we're gonna look at the positives from that, we did score. When Kevin De Bruyne came on, he looked really sharp as usual when he comes on. So he was one of the saving graces. Mahrez looked good when he came on. So did Foden. Diaz was excellent as usual. I think his form has gone under the radar given how mixed we've been, inconsistent we've been going forward. But Diaz's defensive displays have been absolutely out of this world. But I'm gonna go on to the player ratings. I think Edison didn't really have much to do really. I will give it. I'll give it a 7. I'll give it a 7. I don't think he really had much to do. I mean, Southampton didn't really pose much of a threat going forward because of how good Diaz and Ake were today. So I'll just give it a 7. Didn't do much wrong. He's not going to do anything going forward, is he? Because he's the goalkeeper. But going on to Walker, I'm gonna give it a 5. He was okay, he was decent, but I think just that mistake, man, that almost cost the game, and that is not good enough if we're gonna challenge if we're gonna challenge for the Premier League title or the Champions League. You have to cut those mistakes, especially in crucial times of the game. Given the way we were playing, we can't afford to be giving the ball away in those areas. It's just not good enough. Diaz and Ake, I'd give them both 7.5s. Um, I thought they were really good today. Ake, who's been a little bit dodgy recently, but I think today, especially given that his father passed away on Wednesday, may he rest in peace. But both of them today were really, really good, very strong in defence. I don't think Southampton even had a clear cut chance apart from maybe that penalty. So I'm going to give them. They're both 7.5. Cancelo. First half, very promising. Second half, not so promising. Just a bit kind of faded into the background, really. I think he created a few very good chances in the first half. He was very lively going forward, but defensively, Livramento kind of, from that Southampton fullback, kind of had the better of him at stages, anyways. But still plenty of time. I think still he's one of the better players going forward for us today. The midfield three, terrible. All of them. Absolutely terrible. Honestly, I think that's one of the worst midfield performances I've ever seen from a City perspective anyways, because normally our midfield is so strong. It's so versatile. That's one of our strong points. We're able to cut teams apart. We win games because of how dominant our midfield is. But today it was so poor. I mean, Fernandinho, I think they're all getting fours because Bernardo Silva, non-existent. Actually, Gundogan and Bernardo Silva will get a four. Fernandinho will get a three because he gave the ball away far too many times, and it's not good enough, especially in a possession-based team. And it's a shame, really, because he's the captain. I love him to bits, and he's a Man City legend. But sometimes you gotta criticize him when he does something wrong. And today it wasn't one of his strong days. Today, I think it was a poor performance. Bernardo Silva, non-existent, absolutely non-existent. Didn't see him, honestly, in the second half especially. I saw him in patches in the first half, but that was it. Gundogan, he was huffing and puffing by half time, man. Oh goodness. Again, he was non-existent. In transition, when we were trying to counter attack, where was he? He was giving the ball away every time. It was Che Adams or it was James Ward-Prowse or even Remey was just getting the ball off him every single time in transition, and it was unbelievably frustrating to watch. I'm going to go into the front three. Jack Grealish, probably the best player on the pitch, along with Diaz, in my opinion. Constantly creating chances, constantly a thorn in Southampton's side, and I think he gave Livramento a few scares defensively, in my opinion, anyways. And I think he's just going to keep getting better and better, and that is one of the few positives from today. Sterling and Jesus. Sterling. So I'm gonna give. Oh, I forgot. I'm gonna give Grealish. Give him a 7.5. Oh yeah, 7.5. Sterling. I don't know, man. I don't know about Sterling. I don't know because he's been so good for England, and I wanted him to. I thought he was going to replicate that form at City, but he didn't. It never happened. And today was just another one of those games where he just wasn't good enough. I mean, fair enough, he didn't have the service until Kevin De Bruyne came on. He didn't really have the service that I hoped he was going to get. But that's besides the point at this point. You know what I mean? I just don't think like he's at the level that we want him to be if we're going to win the Premier League again, or if we're going to win the Champions League. We need to see the Sterling we saw at the Euro finals if we're going to perform. And this is why he's on the bench. I mean, he's unhappy with being on the bench, and when he plays, he does this. It's not helping your case. But other than that, he was just poor, I think. I mean, I guess his attacking runs was good. The passing was a bit shaky. I just don't think. I think apart from his positioning, which he always does, I don't think he did much apart from that. And Gabriel Jesus non-existent. I'll give him a 4 as well because he was non-existent. I didn't see him on that right hand side at all. Felt like we were playing with 10 men at one point. Too many players not turning up, and that was the story of this game. Too many players not turning up, and after Wickham, which we're not going to see any of these lot playing because we're going to play the kids, we have got Chelsea away on Saturday. We have PSG on the Tuesday, and then we have Liverpool, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, on the Sunday after that PSG game. So we really need to fix up. We have to fix up. That's all we have to do. We need to fix up. We need to get this midfield working again. We need to start being more clinical, and I know that's going to be hard without a striker. And again, that's on the club. That is on the club. So if we fail in those three games, we're really going to set ourselves back for the season. So we need to make sure that we are firing against those three teams. Because if we lose all of those games, or if we don't win two of them, we're in trouble. We are in trouble, definitely. But anyways, it's been your boy Ryan. Hopefully we get a win against Wickham. We should do, and hopefully Chelsea next week we can beat the curse of Tuchel. Peace.